Rays game, and Justin actually hit me up on Twitter wanting to know what I thought of it. It's like, yeah, actually, that was going to be one I was going to give out on the show that I'm on. I'm glad he's on it too, so that's good. That should be a solid one to take. So Justin and I, at least for the time being, are on the Angels Rays Nerfy. And how about last night, the Kings and Lakers? If you took them in a parlay, like I suggested, potentially doing, you made some money. If you single bet them, you made some money. Those were no doubt the route that I was going.
Okay, so Nerfy in the Rays game, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Nerfy in that game. I like it. Other than that, got nothing. Nothing in terms of Nerfies. That's all we're going with.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and put 20 on that.
There you go, Justin. That's right. Yep. So we'll see how we do with that one. So we got me and Justin and Bob, all three on that Nerfy. That'll be great. Yeah, same, bro. Great day if that hits. I mean, that'll just be huge. Amazing start. Now, tonight's games in the NBA, boy, this is tough, man. This is tough.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
I initially leaned towards backing the Heat, but man, I'm I don't know, man. For the Heat, who is out for them? Terry Rozier, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he's out. So that worries me a little bit. Now, the only thing, you got to remember Jimmy Butler was traded from Philadelphia to Miami. He's going to be wanting to ball out tonight against his former team. Embiid, status with him right now is last that I saw.
He's playing.
He's playing, yeah. He's still questionable, though, but I don't think there's any doubt he's playing.
He's got to play. They're done.
I think they're not done if they lose.
Right, that's right.
But
you're Justin, you're absolutely right.
In this case, here's the thing. In this case, if you're Philadelphia or Miami, you lose this game, you get Chicago or Atlanta, right? So that's I think both Miami and Philly should make the playoffs. In that Lakers Pelicans game, though, that is why the Lakers needed to beat the Pelicans, because if they lost to the Pelicans, they would be playing the Kings, who they have not played good against this season. There's no guarantee you win that game. Yes, you avoid Denver, but there's no guarantee you beat Sacramento, because Sacramento has played you very tough. So, they did what they had to do.
There's some Kobe White promos going on with DraftKings. You can get a 50% profit boost. I took the 50% profit boost on him to get over 19.5 points. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we could roll with that. I like this kid. He's a good player. It depends on if DeRozan hogs the ball too, though. Because DeRozan gets hot, he'll start hogging the ball, man. We don't like ball hogs.
And then
especially when the guy hogging the ball is not someone we're on.
There's positive EV play with him over 2.5 player made threes.
I would jump on that.
Okay. That is on BetMGM. So you know what?
While
we're here, since I had somebody call me out on doing live bets the other day, I'm going to go ahead and put 10 on that and log into my MGM account. And
I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look at the EV page, because you just mentioned that play. There's got to be more plays out there to hit. So I'm going to jump on over here, hit that refresh button right there, and we're going to jump right into this bad boy and see what's popping off on the EV page. There's a play you're talking about right now. Kobe White over 2.5 player made threes, looks outstanding. Definitely getting plus odds on every book, but at plus 125 would roll with it for sure. So, Bob, I will ride that with you on BetMGM.
Okay, it'd be nice if I could just go ahead and make it happen, but for some reason it's not letting me. So let me go back to this.
Let me see what else is out here while we locking that in. Trae Young under 2.5 threes. Yeah. Let's see what else is out here. DeJounte Murray under on a PRA. Yeah. I don't want to take DeJounte and Trae on an under. I think we'll go with Trae being a ball hog tonight. And DeJounte Murray's not going to get to eat a whole lot. I mean, every book favors his unders. So we're getting minus 104 on that play. So again, if we're going with the data and we're going with what these sports books who are out to make money are telling us and guiding us to, it's obvious that a lot of books are favoring. Bet Online's kind of a sharp book too. They're at minus 121 on that. We're not seeing any Pinnacle line on it, but pretty obvious that, Fanatics is evenly priced on it. Definitely the consensus here is the under.
Look who joined us, Mike.
All right.
Oh, we need him.
What's going on today, fellas?
How you doing, my friend?
Doing good.
We got to have you on. It's NBA playoff time, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
You like a Trae Young under tonight, Bari?
I do. The Trae Young under points looks good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been too efficient scoring the ball lately. He's been more in the assist role. DeJounte's actually picked up a lot of slack when it comes to scoring. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm gonna go with that one too then. Yeah, we'll hit that one up. See what else is out here. The Capella under on rebounds. Ugh. Don't know on that one.
All right, I got that locked in. For some reason, it wouldn't let me do
I'll
it
go
on
with
my
it.
computer.
I'm gonna go with it.
All right, what we got here?
Well, I wanted to ask you about this Hyman shot over 3.5 shots on goal. What do you think, Bob? Edmonton and Arizona tonight, plus 100 on Hyman over 3.5.
Yeah, I definitely.
How many goals does he have on the year?
In the 30s or 40s.
No, he's in the
somewhere around there. I think he's in the 30s.
No, he's in the 40s. He's 54 goals.
What?
Yeah, he's had an incredible year, dude.
That's not bad.
Wow.
That's pretty darn good. 54 goals. Now, comparing it to Matthews, what he end up?
He's at 69. He's going for 70 tonight.
He's getting 70 tonight, bro. Well, is this their last game or did that? Yeah. This is it, bro.
For Toronto.
Dude, Austin Matthews, anytime goal scorer. You know, or shots on goal has got to be. I mean, I don't care what that number is, 4.5. He's shooting.
Yeah, you're right. Mike Hyman's 54 goals. He has done that very
quietly.
This guy's done this very quietly.
Yeah, he I remember when he hit the 40 mark.
Does he like our Nerfy tonight? Which one we talking about? We're talking about the Rays game. Is that right?
Yeah, Rays Angels. Yeah, I'm sure Jabari won't mind that a whole lot. It's a solid pitching matchup there. You know how these can go. Not a guarantee, but it's a good looking Nerfy.
Angels Rays. Yes, already hit 2 Nerfies today. Jabari, Cardinals, and A's, and White Sox and Royals.
Okay.
So we're Nerfy bound. All right. We're glad you're here. NBA playoffs. First off, let's talk about last night real quick. Mike was on both of those games. heavily on the Kings. They all turned out the way he said. And he said Kings and Lakers money line parlay, and it hit. So were you surprised at either of those outcomes?
The Kings, yeah. An abysmal performance from Clay, 0 for 10, playing almost 25 minutes. Just over 10 is crazy. 0 points is pretty bad. So, yeah, I don't know what the Warriors are going to do with him coming into the offseason. I'm hearing rumors that the Mavs may be the number one team to pick him up, which would help, but they'd have to restructure that contract because he's just not worth 20+ mil a year anymore, in my opinion. The Lakers pretty much handedly, took care of business with the Pelicans, but Zion did get hurt at the end of that game, and he's not playing against the Kings, so I expect the Kings to play tomorrow night and get the win. So.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing with the Kings is, boy, when they're shooting the three and it's falling, they're pretty lethal. But I remember a game this year they were playing Detroit and they were chucking up three. They ended up losing that game too to the Pistons. We know how bad they were. But that's the thing with the Kings, when they're just chucking up shots and they're not falling. They've got early exit written all over them. But when they are falling,
Watch
Murray
out.
had a day.
Yeah, and he started off hot. That's what really, propelled them. But
that
I was
did.
in Discord with some of the fellas as well, and they were saying that the Warriors did not drive the ball out. They were trying to outshoot the Kings. And I agree. Once Clay's off, Steph's getting double, triple teamed. Nobody else is really stepping up. So it's time to just drive the ball. And they didn't do that soon enough. By the time they did it, they were already down by 15, so it didn't matter at that point. So.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, everything was seeming to fall for the Kings. It's just how it goes.
Let's talk about tonight's games. Let's get to tonight's games and what's going on. I don't know, Jabari, whether you're thrilled about these games or not.
I
sure am not.
No,
I don't even know who to pick.
Yeah.
So let's start off with Miami and the Sixers. We got people on the Sixers, people on Miami. I think that Miami makes it close, but Mike was talking about somebody being out for Miami. They're getting 5.5 points. It's where the line is staying. You can get it for -105 on Caesars. I got to be honest with you. I like Miami plus the points tonight. Am I wrong?
Let me double check. Mike, do you remember who's out?
Terry Rozier's out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think they could still make this old rotation work if they can get Caleb Martin. Sorry, I'm checking the lineups right now. Because Embiid's still not 100%. Don't get me wrong, Philly's still a solid team even without him. But him being 100% is really the difference maker, or even close to 70% is a difference maker.
Right.
He hasn't looked too good on that knee, but he's obviously been scoring. So, quite honestly, I'm not. I like the plus money. I'm sorry, I like the plus points, but I'm not even impartial to taking their money line. To be honest, I think Miami pulls this one out against Philly.
It's very possible, and the bad thing about this is, we don't. Embiid, I think he probably plays, but we don't know. I mean, is he going to be on fire? Or is he going to be just? It's hard to. And part of me thinks, Jimmy Butler wants to ball out tonight against his former team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same position they were in last year. Only last year, remember, they lost that first game in the play-in tournament to the Hawks. But yeah, I'm with you. I leaned it yesterday, taking the Heat money line. The more I've thought on it today, the more I've been kind of worried about that. But I think I'm gonna stick with my initial gut and say, yeah, Miami, they definitely take the points, and I'm with Bari. I think they could pull this out.
And the game total, whatever the game total is at, I don't even think they touch it. Miami's not good offensively, and Philly's missing. 207.5. I don't even think they. Quite honestly, I don't even know if they really hit 200. let me double check. We'll come back to that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Let
No,
me
no,
double
no,
check the previous scores.
But I do want to point out one thing about this game. There were 2 plays on the positive EV page earlier today, and they were in PRA for both Jimmy Butler and for Embiid. Butler, his number is still at 35.5, although it's gone down to 34.5 and it was on the over. Embiid's number early today was 47.5 on the under. Now it looks like it's dropped a whole point, 46.5 and 45.5. Quite frankly, I'm not sure he hits his over PRA tonight.
Yeah. You're taking a chance here, with that. I mean, because remember, if Philadelphia loses this game, they're not dead yet. And let's face it, both of these teams are going to play Chicago or Atlanta. And I don't really think either one of those teams will lose to Chicago or Atlanta. So, we're not going to know with Joe. I'll stay away from Joel. I would ride a Jimmy over because I think it's his former team. I think he's going to be.
Joel is on the under, Mike.
On the yeah. I mean, I would lean towards his under. Yeah.
That's what the positive EV play, but it was 47.5.
Yeah, that's
so it's
great.
Dropped a full. It's dropped 1. So but probably because he's questionable, right, Jabari?
Yeah. Probably, but he'll probably play. But the thing is in what capacity is he going to play?
Exactly.
Because
we don't.
If they get up, I don't think they spare him, and you don't pull him. Like, you definitely are going to. I think in any situation, if you're drastically up or down, they're going to sit him a lot, in my opinion, because this isn't the game to be playing him the hardest. Like, this is the 7-8 matchup, right? This isn't the 9-10. Yeah. So worst case scenario, you lose, have another game to play.
Yeah,
right.
And an easier matchup, too, truth be told, is playing Chicago or Atlanta if you lose. So, I think whoever loses this game, I think we're all in agreement that Philadelphia and Miami probably both getting in, right?
Both move on. Yeah, I agree. Jabari, under 208 points at Bet Rivers at -109.
So I checked, and the game without Jimmy, they only ended up at 199 is where they ended up at. But no, it was 189. Sorry, is what they ended up at. But since this game's gonna be with Jimmy, I think and it's the playoffs, so I'm expecting Jimmy Tyrese to really carry the score a lot. I think 208 might be good to go over.
Okay.
Just in my personal opinion.
Okay. Well, my thought here was that Miami, on the run that they made in the playoffs last year, defense had a lot to do with where they got.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Spoelstra is one of those kinds of coaches. And Embiid not being at 100%, that's kind of why I was thinking the under. But you know what?
I was thinking initially too, but I checked the scores. Even without Jimmy, they were going over, 208. So that's my biggest concern is if this doesn't turn into some defensive game, then they're going to lean back on the offense. And they've done this 3 out of the 4 games they played in the regular season. They've been over, even when Joel came back. So if they play the defense, me and you thinking they're supposed to play, it shouldn't hit 208. But if they don't, then
we don't really know what we're going to get out of Miami. All right, now to the game of the century. Game of the century, get it? Nobody's laughing. Hawks and Bulls. I mean, why are we playing this? I got to tell you, Jabari, this is one of the things I can't stand about the NBA. I'm not into this play-in tournament. I'm sorry. It does nothing for me. Nothing. Let's get to the friggin' playoffs. Okay? Let's quit pissing around with this stuff. You're just trying to make a little bit more money. Quit jacking people around. This game's a joke. Sorry.
I think it's good. I think you open up the roster spots as far as playoff teams. So I think it is pretty good. But I do agree that, well, at least in the East, the West playoff games this year have been pretty good.
Yeah,
They've
I
been
mean,
pretty
it's gonna,
good.
yeah, it's
You
gonna
know, the
depend on the
Lakers.
year.
Yeah, the East though, the East is just, even the regular season, East on East games were boring to watch. They were pretty boring. The East was pretty much decided by the All-Star break. Boston was well ahead. Joel was okay, but the East play-ins aren't going to be good because none of those teams in the 7 to 10 spot are that good. Neither one of them should be going past the first round. All of them technically really should be losing. I don't think any of them get past the first round, in my opinion. So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Boston comes out of the East this year, because if they don't, anything else is pretty much a disappointment in my eyes. You obviously have the best team in the East, and it's not even close. What they finished the season almost 10 games ahead, right? Yeah. And the West, you had 3 teams that are they were competing for the number 1 spot. So it's really not even a conversation in my eyes on where the better, conference was this year.
But
yeah, the Knicks, the closest team to the Celtics were the Knicks, the 2 seed, and they were 14 games back.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But the 5, 6, and 7 and 8 seeds in the East, you had Orlando, Indiana, and Philadelphia that were all tied at 47 and 35, and Miami was only 1 game behind at 46 and 36. So they were actually, and then if you take Cleveland in there, they were 48 and 34, and Milwaukee only 49 and 33. That's kind of bunched up from 3 to 8 guys. That's
but how many? What were the 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the West? They won 51 games each, right? At least 51, 52.
Okay. Milwaukee had 49 wins.
Right. Oklahoma City and Denver, I pointed this out yesterday, not only tied at 57 and 25, they also had identical home records at 33 and 8 and identical road records at 24 and 17. I have never seen that.
Yeah.
That's pretty evenly matched, in my opinion. If we see them in a series, hopefully we do. But once we see them in a series together, honestly, that's probably the series to bet on. That probably goes to a game 7 without a doubt in my mind. And that's probably the series. It's probably time for you to start hammering stuff. Shy, Jamal, the stars just got to come out and be stars. So if we get that series,
are you high on the Thunder?
Am I high on the Thunder? I still think Denver wins the West, but I can easily see the Thunder competing with them to win the West.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think this Thunder team kind of reminds me of those early Thunder teams with Durant and Westbrook and Harden, where there's no doubt they're young, the talent, that you got superstar in the making in SGA like Durant at the time, and they played the Lakers, Kobe and the Lakers, and they got beaten in that series. But they took them 6 games. The Lakers were pushed to the limits, and that Thunder team was just a little young, just not quite ready. This is kind of how I see that Thunder team, although definitely that Thunder team wasn't a 1 seed. But I don't think they're going to get the job done this year, but years to come, they're going to be lethal. But I'm with you. With Denver should come out of the West, and I got to be honest with you. If it's not Nuggets, Celtics, I don't know what else is going to be a series if we don't get that in the NBA Finals. I think Boston will blow anybody else out potentially.
Yeah, in the West, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if we don't get Nuggets, Celtics, we aren't going to have a great NBA Finals. I mean, I think that's the best matchup that we have in terms of getting a good quality deep series for the NBA Finals. So we'll see.
Well, the thing that I'm thinking right now is, guys, all this rest that you had during the regular season, and you're waiting for the playoffs. Justin and I talked about this yesterday. If you're resting up for the playoffs, that's all fine and dandy, but them regular season games help to pay your salary, and to be out as many games. You're seeing it in baseball all the time now too. They're resting guys more and more. you know what? Just play the friggin' game, please. Just
A
play the
solution to this problem, Bob, and the same can be applied to Major League Baseball and the NBA, and maybe even the NHL. Truthfully, quit playing so many. Let's shorten the games a little bit. We don't need 162 baseball games, man. We don't need 82 whatever NBA games, NHL games. We don't need that many, man. Cut it off at 60 or something. I mean,
I hear you, but then you have years like this year where the West race was really close.
that's
It
true.
wouldn't have been decided. Like if we cut it off at 60 games, right? Or we cut it off, just after the All-Star break, then technically wouldn't the Clippers be a number 1 or 2 seed? Right. And they
Yeah.
fall down to number 4. So,
Well, yeah.
it's things like this. And I feel like it's only in the Western Conference. The East, in my eyes, just has not really competed since LeBron left. Even when he was there, it was easy for him. But,
Yeah.
The West has always been down pretty much to the last 10 games as far as seeding, except for when the Warriors were on their run and then the Suns, went on their run, went to the chip, but then lose to Giannis that year. So,
Right.
You have years like this year where I think 80 games, 75, 79 games is needed. But
Fair point. Yeah, I can agree with that because the Western Conference historically the last decade even, or maybe even longer, the West has been competitive. You had all those Spurs teams, those Mavericks teams,
the
Lakers.
Lakers,
those early Lakers, the early Suns team, that were, with Nash and them, or and Stoudemire. And then you had, you could mix in a couple of years. Denver with Carmelo were pretty solid and pretty competitive. And it was always, the West was always a better season. And it was always, Memphis. Remember the years Memphis was really, really solid.
Jack Randolph, Zero.
Gasol days. Yeah. I mean, Conley was running the show, at the point, in his younger days. And yeah, I mean, the West has historically over the last decade or more been much more competitive than the East. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. No two ways about it.
But I don't know why that is.
By the way, just drop the season down to 72 games for the NHL and the NBA. Drop Major League Baseball, put it back to 154 games like they had when Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. Okay? It's only 8 games difference. Actually be 10 games difference in the NHL. It's really not that much. And this is what I think. It means that during the regular season, more of these games are going to count. And guess what? That means you're going to have to play if you want to make the playoffs. Because I'm being honest with you, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the season shortens, and yeah, your emphasis will be, you're still going to have tight races. You'll still have,
we got baseball managers that are resting rookies. Already 3 days of rest in this short season already. Are you kidding me?
I think, what I think they should do? They should find some way to make the last, 10 games of every sport, the last 8 games of every sport, like contingency games. Like if both teams agree, look, we don't really need to play this game, then don't play them. Like those last 10 games, would sort of be optional. Like if both of them, or at least if one of the teams is like, look, we need this game for seeding, so we'll play. But like in the, the last 10 games of the NBA, right? If you're playing for, a seeding and you're not going to move up in the last 3, 4, 5 games, you're going to stay at a 9 or 10 seed. There's really no reason for you to play. Really?
Right.
Just cut for those teams, cut it off. But for the teams that are like, oh, hey, look.
How do you market that? How do you sell that?
I mean, I mean, same way you market a game 6 and game 7 if needed. If needed and they're not getting blown out, then great. But, hey, it is what it is. I mean, they're probably not going to want to do that, because there's money into it. They're going to have less games as far as networks are concerned, less sports media. So that's really probably the main concern. They're not even really cared about player, safety or health or anything like that. It's really the contracts with sports media that's probably running most of that. So
you got the NFL. You got the NFL adding games. So I'm not sure that's going to be on these other sports minds to shorten their season. When you got the NFL, who is kind of the big dog, they've added games to their schedules. They haven't taken away games.
They can do that because they play once a week.
True.
These other games, they're playing baseball. You're playing 3-game series in 3 days. Basketball, you're playing sometimes 2-3 times a week, sometimes back-to-back days. So totally different. And I'd argue there's a little more cardio in some of these sports than there are football because you're going to get breaks. You're going to have rotations. It's quite a big roster. We're talking about a 52-man roster versus a 15-man roster. So,
oh yeah,
it's a little bit different there.
And 26, on baseball, and 24 in hockey and what have you. Speaking of hockey, real quick here, guys. Believe it or not, now this is the average odds, and I put this in New Jersey. I'm not going to put my computer in Colorado and see what I come up with. But it looks like the Hurricanes are getting some love, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Win the Stanley Cup?
Yes, this is to win the cup. Plus 650, plus 700 for the Panthers. There's a plus 850 for the Avs, plus 800 for the Rangers, plus 850 for the Oilers, plus 850 for the Stars. Those are the top 6 teams to win the cup this year. Now, the Bruins are not getting any love, and guess who they're matched up against this year? Again, they're playing Toronto in the first round again, which Toronto won a series finally last year. The Bruins are not going to sit down. I fully expect them to win this series, but you got a guy tonight that is going for, in Austin Matthews, his 70th goal. He's got 69 goals right now. That's a big milestone. They're playing Tampa Bay. The NHL, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, out of those 6 teams, any one of those 6 teams can win. Actually,
100%.
If you went all the way down to Vegas and Boston, probably you'd be looking at any of those 8 teams could win. I mean, it's going to be a matter of, getting the hot goaltending. That's what it's going to be all about.
Yeah, Dallas, where were they at?
Plus 850.
Man, that's tempting right there.
They're right there with the Avalanche.
Yeah.
The Rangers are plus 800.
Ottinger's best goaltender in that conference. I would ride with Dallas for sure to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Ottinger's probably, might be the best goalie in the league. All right, Jabari, did we lose it? I think we did.
Yeah, with some internet issues going on right now.
Oh, you're all right. So your Avalanche, they're there, they're in it. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they have the goaltender to win the cup.
We're not winning the chip. Yeah, we're not winning the chip. I already know.
No,
I already know.
If you already knew that, why in the hell didn't you tell me that in the beginning of the season?
No, I thought we had a good chance by midseason, but the back half of the season, I wasn't convinced. It wasn't like in past years where I was like, oh, yeah, no, Avalanche got a real good chance. We're strong, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just it doesn't feel the same. And that I felt the same way about the Warriors, to be honest. They just weren't. It's like you can see when a team's not playing with a lot of heart. They just are coasting on talent. Like they would beat any other regular team, but just talent can only get you so far. And
yeah, well, in the NHL playoffs, there ain't no days off.
There ain't no days off.
Broken bones. What did Matthew Tkachuk have last year? A broken sternum.
Something. Yeah.
Broken sternum.
Was it a sternum or was it a collarbone?
No, it was a sternum.
I think it was a sternum.
Yes, it was crazy.
Yeah, the thing with Colorado, I mean, they went from being in first place in that division to finishing, sliding all the way down to third in that division. Even Winnipeg jumped them, which I didn't expect. So
I know, and Winnipeg isn't even in those top 8. We haven't even talked about them because they've got a goaltender in Hellebuck who could do the job. Boys, they're plus 2,000, and if I was going to grab a long shot to win it, might be them.
Yeah, I think I would be more likely to want to take Winnipeg to come out of the West than I would to win the Cup, though. I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure on them winning the Cup. But yeah, I mean, they definitely have the goaltending.
Well, let me tell you where they're at. Plus 900 to win the West. They are the 6th team in the West. It's Colorado, Edmonton, Dallas. Now, this is to win the West. Now, this is where the odds get misconstrued because there are not as many books giving you odds on the Western Conference winner.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Hellebuck have the best save percentage in the West, at least? He's got a better save percentage than Ottinger.
He's up there. No two ways about it.
He's a little bit above Ottinger.
But it's going to be fun. We got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. This great time of the year. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Jabari, you look like you're in a classroom or something, dude.
Yeah, I'm still at school. I got an AI assignment that's due tomorrow, so I'm here with the group. So I wasn't at home today.
If you need some artificial intelligence, I can give you some.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna be very good. Though.
That's all the intelligence he has is artificial. He doesn't have anything else to give you.
Are there people back there?
No, there's nobody here.
There's nobody there? Oh,
there's nobody here.
If we had a crowd, we could get them in on this. All right, folks, have a great day. Jabari, thanks for joining us, brother. See y'all later.